Hey guys, I think we're live on Facebook. So if you are seeing this, say hello in the comments below so that I know you are here. In this week's Rhythm Radio Live, I'm talking 2020 holiday mindset because I think we need to be putting a little effort into that if you're feeling anything like me. For one thing, perhaps 2020 has felt a little bit like Groundhog Day too. A lot of the same over and over. And we are heading to the last chapter of 2020, and there is an escalated anxiety and concern and things just not being able to be the way we may have traditionally liked them or the way we prefer them. I feel you. I feel it too. So I just wanted to speak briefly about holiday mindset and a couple of tips of what we can do and how we can approach this holiday season in terms of our mindset. So one of the things that I do often, and I've really kind of notched this up a bit, is deciding how I want to feel. I really focus on living with intention and starting with that desired feeling. How do I want to feel by the end of December 2020? And it's been a very rocky year for many people. I personally had a very rocky year, and I would like to finish out the year feeling more content than I do right now. I'd like to feel a little bit more content. Um, Given all our surrounding circumstances, I'm not gonna raise that bar too high, but I'd like to feel more content. And so what I've been doing the last few months is choosing an affirmation or a mantra or whatever you want to call it that helps me to create that or reinforce that desired feeling. So for example, last month I really wanted to finish November feeling lighter. And so I was saying to myself daily, I release all that does not serve and support me. And a lot of that was having a tag sale, getting rid of physical things, having some boundary conversations, just getting rid of things that did not support or serve me. So, in terms of wanting to feel more content at the end of December, my mantra, my affirmation for this month is I trust that everything unfolds as it should. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to unfold the way I'd like to, the way I'd prefer to. I would prefer to celebrate the holidays as I often do with family and friends and entertaining and all kinds of other things, but that is likely not in the cards. So, it's funny because when I was planning out December, normally there's so many social commitments and fun things going on in December, and it's like pretty, sparse this year. But if I continue to tell myself I trust that everything unfolds as it should, then that kind of lighter schedule is exactly what I must need. It's gonna unfold exactly as it should. So that is basically how I'm kind of approaching this season. And I'm just checking to make sure we've got our Facebook Live folks on here. Cool. So four things that I wanted to say as kind of ideas to create a rhythm that feels good this season. The first is to really pause. If you reflect back on past holiday seasons, there often tends, with many of us, not everybody, but raise your hand if you sometimes have felt in the past that the holidays are like a frenzy. They're busy, they're overwhelming, there's so much to do, to wrap, to decorate, to write cards, to bake, to whatever, all the things, to go to the parties, to do all the things, see all the people. So this holiday, my first tip is to really pause, like to truly pause. Since I don't know if I'll just be here, nobody else in our house but us for thanks for Christmas. Maybe I just pause and stay in my pajamas all day and watch a marathon of Christmas movies. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But to truly, really pause if your calendar is not packed with other activities. The second suggestion is to identify what is most important to you about the holidays and then get creative with it. So, several years ago, I actually asked that question of my family. What is most important to you about the holidays? What do you like? What is your favorite thing? And this was quite a few years back. I was really surprised at the answers. For example, Megan, my stepdaughter, said that her favorite part was that we would go out to the movies a few days before Christmas. I did not even know that that was like a holiday tradition or a thing. It did, as I thought back on it, she was right. Usually, whenever school ended, like that next Friday, whatever the next day, the first day off from school, which was usually like the day before Christmas Eve, often, we would go to a matinee. We'd go as a family to the movies. And that's what she most looked forward to. I never would have thought of that. I didn't even really connect that with the holidays, but it was what was most important to her. So find out what is most important to the people in your family, in your circle, in your pod, whatever it might be, and to yourself, and then get creative on how you can still maintain some semblance of that tradition or that experience. So for example, just last weekend, and I shared this on my social media and my newsletter blog, I attended a virtual wedding. It was my first virtual Zoom wedding, and I really wasn't sure, what it would be like. It would be just like a Zoom team meeting that I have, but I could not believe how creative the brides got with this wedding. It was so much fun. I danced, I laughed, I cried, and I really actually had a good time. I dressed up, I had my heels on, I had my, I did my makeup, etc. After like a year of basically staying in activewear, yoga pants, it was kind of fun. So they got really creative to take something that is a special occasion and really kick it up a notch with the creativity that they used in this wedding. So identify what's most important, then figure out how you can get creative about that. I'm actually still mulling that over for myself. My favorite part of the holidays is hosting Christmas Eve. And since I probably will not be hosting, I have not figured out yet what to do to be creative about that. Number three is figure out what can you do. I know personally lately I've been focused on what we can't do. We can't travel, we can't gather, etc. I can't entertain. What can we do? So that is a good question to kind of brainstorm, and it sort of piggybacks on the previous tip, which is getting creative. Like, what can we do? What are we able to do? Can we bundle up with some hot chocolate and go for a walk in nature? Can we get into the car and take a drive around for Christmas lights? I did see some post a while back about a driving tour of Connecticut with Christmas lights, and I was thinking, like, oh, I'm going to do this, and it was long. It was like a 4-hour drive. It's not for just a quickie, but something like that. And then number four is just remember the reason for the season. So whether you are religious, spiritual, whatever it might be, remember the reason for the season and focus on that. It's very easy to get caught up on all the things that we are prohibited from or limited to do right now and not think about what the true reason is. So I'd highly recommend that you focus on that. And so when I think about those tips, really pause, identify what's most important to you, and get creative, and ask yourself what you can do. And finally, remember the reason for the season. It all brings me back to my desired feeling for December, which is to be content, more content, and my mantra, which is I trust that everything unfolds as it should. So no matter how that all plays out, it's going to be as it should. And I, of course, use a lot of essential oils to support my emotional health. And Peace, which is the reassuring blend, is one that I've started to use for December. The Energy Almanac, which you've often heard me refer to if you listen regularly, recommends Peace, the oil of reassurance, and of course, frankincense, the king of oils, which if you're listening to this in real time, December 2020, you can get that for free this month. If you're not sure how, ask me. And the oil of reinsurance is to help you create inner peace. So I like to refer to my Essential Emotions book, as many of you know, and it's all about feeling peaceful, serene, content. There's my word, still, and spiritually connected. So I actually picked my word and my oil before I got out this book and realized that, when you're drawn to something, if you want to feel a certain feeling, I want to feel content, and oil can help get into the brain and help you create that feeling. So that is my mindset plan for 2020 holidays. And this month, during December 2020, instead of doing little interview chats and guests, I'm going to focus each week on one of my key pillars that I talk about. So mindset this week, next week we'll talk energy for the holidays, and then time, and then finally environment. And when we look at those internal and external aspects, we can truly create a rhythm that feels good for us. And if you find that that's helpful for you, I'm very excited to be launching a brand new rhythm for 2021. 3-month program starting in January, and I am going to be offering a little early bird discount for that. It is a 3-month experience where each month we will focus on a very important aspect. We will start with cleansing, then nourishing, and then strengthening. And we will cleanse, nourish, and strengthen our mind, body, and spirit. It's a full, holistic whole health experience. There will be options to do it at your own pace and meet you where you are. And there will be options to up level if you really need a big shift in 2021. So if you are interested in getting in early, because we will keep the group, small so that we can have accountability and support each other and truly focus on what is in our control. And that is really important because it's possible that 2021 is going to look a lot like 2020. And at least the first part, I believe, is going to be, somewhat the same in some cases. We're hoping for a lot of changes and a big shift, but we can only concentrate and control on what we can control, what we can do. So if you're interested in being part of that, reach out to me. And tell me what your favorite part of the holidays is in the comments below. I would love to hear what's your favorite aspect of the holidays. As I said, mine has always been Christmas Eve, and that is really a lifelong history of Christmas Eve has been different over the years of my life, but it's always been my favorite part. And if you have been part of that, and you know who you are, if you've been part of the Christmas Eves in the past, back in the day when we used to really do bigger celebrations on Christmas Eve, I would love to hear your favorite memory. So thanks for listening and have a beautiful day.